Everybody, what's up? Welcome back to Fremont. A little bit of an extended intro on this episode, but I just want to, I guess, try something a little bit different. I went and got the sun rays or sun shafts mod, so it really makes the cinematics look so much more better. So happy about that, and I am also here to say that like in the last episode, I said I was gonna like get back into a schedule to try and uploading videos and maybe like backlog a few so I don't wait, 3 weeks to upload. I didn't follow through with that. It's quite obvious. There's been a lot of stuff happening with school, and I just haven't been able to play this game as much as I had before. Not just that, but I also have been like focusing on like other games too. Like City Skylines isn't the only game that is in my Steam library, so it's you want to switch it up every now and again. But anyway, moving on from that, we are back in Fremont, as obvious as this video is uploaded. But yeah, so in this episode, I am taking a bit of a fan request. Now, the request isn't exact. The fan in particular asked that I build a football stadium. Now, I was going to go through with that, but I couldn't find... First of all, I wasn't sure whether they're talking about American football or like soccer football. And that was the first issue. And the second issue was I couldn't find a stadium that I guess met the theme of this city. This isn't a major American city. So all the stadiums that are on the Steam Workshop, they're really big and really fancy, and it just didn't look right to have that type of stadium in a city of this size. So I went and got a baseball stadium. Now the baseball stadium was originally too small. It was really small. Then I found a modified version of the same stadium, and that one was too big. So I kind of found a middle ground, went to the asset editor, changed it up a bit, and now it's, I think, 0.75, so it's 75% the size of the big version, which was twice the size of the small version. So I don't feel like doing math to try and calculate that, but you pretty much get the point. Anyway, that'll be coming up very shortly. I'm pretty sure it's coming up right after this. So you don't actually see me put down the stadium because I wasn't recording at the time, but that doesn't really matter because it's just me, plopping down a stadium. Nothing too special about that. But of course, as with tradition on this series, for some reason, I'm going to be making lots of parking spaces. And something that is kind of, I guess, a flaw on my end, I kind of only realized it after the fact, was, and you'll notice this too, the parking spots for the baseball stadium, which I'm working on right now, just putting in some curbs, they're right behind the stadium. So if a ball were to fly out of the stadium for like a home run, yeah, that's going straight into the parking lot. Kind of an oversight on my end. I did do a bit of research, and I did find a few instances, like in the New York Yankees and Mets stadium and whatnot. There is kind of parking on the other side of the stadium, so I'm not alone on this. But in my mind, I'll imagine that there's probably a big net that you can't see that'll catch the ball so it doesn't fly into the parking lot. But yeah, speaking of parking lot, here we are working on it right now. Now you see me putting in the normal roads over here, and I'm putting those in just as a measurement because from the white line to white line, that's the area that traffic can drive, and if they can drive on those lines, or between those lines I should say, on a main road, then they can drive between that same distance in the parking lot. So that's where I got the measurement idea from, and that's what I'm going to be using as a basis for a lot of future parking lots from now on. because it's really simple. You don't have to like get props and measure it, and you just change the road back to I guess the concrete alleyway. I think that's what it's called, and you're all good to go. So just gonna copy and paste a bunch of parking spaces. This lot is fairly large. I'm not sure if it's as large. I don't think it's as large as the parking lot that was put into the industrial mill in the last episode, but it is quite large in size, and I guess it would be the second largest lot that is in the city. Not that that's something to be proud of. You probably want to avoid parking lots at all costs. But this is America, so what are you going to do? But yeah, so this lot over here that you see me working on, the second half, it gets kind of skewed because there's an abandoned train line. And before anybody asks, yes, it is going to be abandoned. There will be 0 train traffic on that line. It's just for pure aesthetics. But I'll probably make it lead to another industrial area later on in the city. After all, since this is based off the city of Greensboro, there is actually a rail line. Like, actually, wait a minute, I just remembered. That's not going to happen, because just like in Greensboro, that line is currently being torn up and getting replaced with a greenway. So actually, you can see right there on the bottom of the screen, the single rail doesn't continue past that road, and that's because it's going to get replaced with a greenway. I remember now. So I guess you have that to look forward in a future episode, and if that's not going to be included in a future episode, it'll probably be included in future cinematics, which, as previously mentioned, are looking much better than before because of dynamic resolution and just the sun shafts and just me, focusing on trying to make everything look nicer, because after all, this is about how the city looks in the end. And I guess it's also for the functionality of the city, but to be honest, this city's kind of finicky. We're having a bit of issues, but I'm working on it. I want to make sure this city is actually functional, and once it's all completed and whatnot, I'll put it up on the Steam Workshop for you guys to have. Oh gosh, that means I have to put all the assets in too, and there's so many assets. Oh boy, that'll be fun. But that's in the future, that is not right now. So I guess I don't have to worry about that yet. But yeah, just putting in the ploppable asphalt to color this parking lot and, make it look more like a parking lot, as with all the other ones that I've built so far. Now, there isn't really little grass planters and curbs on this parking lot as the other ones usually have. That's because I guess this one is more aiming for space and just, how many people it can fit, rather than, I guess, aesthetics and whether it's pleasant on the eye. So, yeah, it's not very green. I think the industrial mill parking lot, it had more green than this one, so that's kind of interesting when you think about it. But yeah, just putting in some more decals and whatnot to make it look so, not so new, make it more worn out as a real parking lot would look, since this is not freshly paved and this has been here for quite a few years. And putting in some tire markings and whatnot. I haven't really been putting down these tire markings in parking lots up until recently, but man, do they make it look so much better, because it actually shows the wear and tear on the lot itself. So look forward to that in future builds. But yeah, there's not a whole lot more to talk about regarding the parking lot. The curbs that you saw me put that separate the parking lot from that road surrounding it, I didn't record it, unfortunately, but I did decorate it with some very nice trees and flowers and whatnot. So it's pretty, pretty. I guess you'll see it in the closing cinematics, which, interestingly enough, as of the recording of this audio, I have not recorded yet. So I have no idea how they're going to turn out. I'm going to have to record those right after recording this audio, and I'm going to render this video and upload it 3 weeks later from the last upload, which I do apologize again. And I've noticed that I've just been apologizing a lot in these videos for like my lack of uploading, but you have to understand that, I have a lot going on at the moment. But I'll try to upload when I can. And I also just thank you guys so much for the 1,000 subs. I didn't even mention that in the last episode, but we have 1,000 subscribers. So that's great. That's really great. And hopefully we can keep getting bigger and, you know, just spread the news if you like this channel. I appreciate it. I really do. The likes, the comments, everything. So thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate it. But enough with that. Back to what's going on the screen. So, of course, every parking lot needs its lighting, and I decided to stagger the lighting this way so it wasn't, you know, super bright, which I think worked out really nice in the end. And also, something that I don't usually do is I put in the white streetlights. Usually it's the sodium vapor, you know, the orange-looking streetlights that pretty much dominate this city, both in the game and in real life. But I decided to change things up. I guess this stadium was built in recent times, so they decided to use more, I guess, modern light bulbs. And something else that I don't usually do is this parking lot, I guess, just due to its massive size and the amount of traffic that it would experience, I decided to put a little bit of a yellow median right down the main, I guess, driving areas, the main roadways of the parking lot, and they'll have little stop signs and whatnot on them. Well, not stop signs, but the stop marking in yellow, I guess, asphalt pavement, whatever that stuff is called. Asphalt pavement? No, asphalt paint. Gosh, I can't even think of my own words. But yeah, here we go, putting those little stop markers down. Again, this is something that I don't usually do, but for this case, it just worked out really well, and I'm really happy with the result. But there's not a whole lot more that happens after this regarding the baseball stadium and parking lot. After this, I then move on to completing the roundabout that has been just kind of sitting there for a few episodes now. So I finished the roundabout, make it look a lot nicer than it was before. Fill in some empty plots of land, and also get to work on a little section of the town that I'm going to fill in with some buildings and make a nice alleyway in the back of it. Couldn't think of the word right there, which I'm currently building right now, as you can see. But yeah, so that's what's going to be happening from then up until the end of the episode, and unfortunately, I cannot stay for that time period and you know, narrate it, which I guess might be nice for some of you to hear me stop talking. But with that being said, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next episode. Consider subscribing if you want to stay caught up with the series. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for the rest of the episode and the closing cinematics. Take care.